Evening, everyone, and welcome to the stage reading of Mother Grace. You are the first audience ever exposed to this play. I'm Stephen Jewell, the director, and we have a talented cast consisting of David Michaels, Mark Taudvin, and Tristan Myers as Linus at 3 different ages, Sabrina Carmichael and Sam Levigny as Lily at 2 different ages, Willow Hale as Lynn, Danielle Cordona as Ava, Christy Myers as Linus's mother, and Sarah Banerjee as Miss Williams. Aditya Pucha is the writer of the play and our narrator for tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that, Stephen. Mother Grace is a play told in 2 acts. For the most part, it's set in 2016, but there are flashbacks to 1984, 1991, and 1995. Without further ado, Mother Grace. Act 1, Scene 1, 2016. Hillsong's Who You Say I Am plays to set the mood. As it fades out, older Linus enters his office, followed by Ava, who has her hand wrapped in bandages.
Sit down.
Thanks. So, why did you want the appointment with me?
You know why.
Because of this?
You obviously wanted my help, or you wouldn't have sat next to me in service. Do you want to tell me now what's going on with Josh? Take your time. You want any coffee or tea?
I'll take water if you have any.
Sure.
He walks over to his desk, fills a cup with water and another with tea, and sits down. She begins drinking the water while holding that cup with her good hand.
How long do you have to talk?
As long as you need.
Don't you have a leadership meeting today?
I told him to do it without me. This is more important.
Thank you.
Don't thank me, Ava. The church's job is to help people. Organizing volunteer projects and making the building look nice don't mean anything if, we're not there for our congregation members in need.
I'm not a member.
Maybe you should be. You seem like you need a lot of spiritual guidance.
Yeah, right?
But even otherwise, you're a person, you come to this church, and you're in pain. Now, what was going on between you and Josh yesterday that had you so upset?
What did you hear?
Enough that I understood why you wanted me there, but I want to hear everything from you.
Josh and I were having a fight.
Take your time. You have my undivided attention.
He doesn't like it when I talk to other guys. He monitors my phone and got upset when a coworker texted me about a lunch, even though I said it was just a whole group thing. So while I was cooking dinner, that coworker texted me again, and when Josh asked who it was, I lied and said it was my mom. But he ripped the phone right out of my hand, obviously saw it wasn't true. I've never seen him so angry.
I'm right here, honey.
He pushed my pan away, grabbed my wrist, and pressed my hand onto the burner. He held it there for something like 7 seconds.
Ava.
It's okay. I'm fine now.
You didn't seem fine yesterday. Whatever you want to say, it's okay.
It hurt like hell and still does. My fingers are burnt. I stayed in bed half the day, and when I got up, he brought me flowers and a card, and a few gifts too. He kissed me and said he was sorry. He isn't like this. He doesn't hurt me.
Well, he obviously did.
He doesn't normally, though.
You sure?
The only other thing I can think of is one time he grabbed my arm so hard it bruised, and another time he shoved me. Nothing like this.
What it sounds like to me is things do keep getting worse. Believe me, as a pastor, I've witnessed too many cases where, a boyfriend who just started out just having a bad temper worsened to the point where he got homicidal.
I don't know, though. When he said he was so sorry, I felt like I owed it to our daughter to not give up.
You have a daughter.
1-year-old.
How old are you?
20.
Do you think he might have done something to baby trap you?
I don't know. I wasn't planning on this, but Victoria's still the light of my life. I don't think I could raise her alone at all.
You'd rather raise her with a man who might end up hitting her too? Look, I'm not going to claim that parenting is easy, but by not abusing your child, I can tell you right now, you're off to a great start.
Have you ever counseled people who were abused by their parents?
More importantly, I have. I know what a bad mother looks like, and that's not you.
Blackout. Scene 2, 1984. Little Linus, sporting a black eye, sits alone in a rundown apartment reading a novel while glancing at the door often. We finally hear a key turning as Mother enters carrying a bag of food.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Linus.
He walks over to hug her as she closed the door. She hugs back with one arm without looking at him.
Sorry I'm so late. I had to total the tips and divide them today. I got us some good leftovers, though. Do you want the chicken sandwich or the pepperoni pizza?
They both sound good.
What did you have for lunch?
Nothing. There wasn't anything in the fridge.
Okay, you can have half of the pizza and the whole sandwich. I also have a brownie I'll let you eat.
As she places the food on the table and takes it out of the bag, she finally takes a good look at his face.
Is that a black eye?
Yes.
Who did it? Was it one of those boys at the gym?
Yes.
What is the matter with you, Linus? Didn't I tell you to stand up to them?
Yes.
You said one of them is a weenie, right?
Yes.
But bullies always pick on small people. Now, in this case, he's smaller than you are. Do you know how ashamed that makes me of you?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, idiot. What happened? Did that guy just walk up and hit
One
you?
of the guys tripped me while we were running around the track. I didn't fall, but I lost my balance, and the big guy slammed me against the fence and pushed me low so his friend could hit me in the face.
And you just took it.
Yeah,
How did it make you feel, getting beaten up by someone smaller than you?
not good.
Of course it didn't feel good, but you were happy to let them do it.
They stopped. This boy named Tyler told them, "Don't be mean to Linus. He didn't do anything to you."
Can't you just stand up for yourself for once?
I didn't think I could stop them.
Of course you didn't. That money I spent on the karate lessons at the Y was such a waste. Will you at least stand up to them next time?
I thought I could maybe tell the teacher.
I should have known. You're too stupid for words, always needing someone else's help. Do you want me to hit you? Relax your jaw.
Okay.
She viciously slaps his face with her palm, backhands his other cheek with just as much ferocity, and presses her clenched fist against his chin.
You'll really get it if this happens again. You're lucky I don't send you to bed without dinner.
She sits down, and then so does he. Mother divides the food, and they start eating.
What was work like?
Pain in the ass. Got another customer trying to grope me.
Did you tell him to stop?
He kept avoiding his table. He had to ask for refills if he wanted them.
Maybe the manager will stop things like this.
No need to make such a big deal out of it. It's not like the customer will come back.
Why wouldn't he come back?
Will you just shut up? I'm trying to enjoy my dinner here.
Sorry, Mommy.
How was school?
I want to start going to church.
Excuse me?
Tyler told me he had a youth group at his, and then I'll have friends because they're not mean there.
Why would anyone want to be friends with you? I keep telling you, you need to stop being so boring and find interests.
I try to write poetry.
Are you any good?
Never mind.
There's no talent like that in our family. Stupid idea. How's your food?
The pizza's really good. Thanks for letting me have most of it.
You're welcome. Hurry up. Finish. It's almost your bedtime.
I'm done.
With everything? Oh, you were hungry. Okay, change. Get ready for bed.
Good night.
Blackout. Interlude. Little Linus stands alone under a spotlight.
I really love my mommy. She can be so sweet. She lets me have the dessert and almost all the meat. Sometimes she's scary when she gets real mad. I try to be strong though, so that she's not sad.
Scene 3, 2016.
Did she ever actually punch you?
Does it matter? I mean, no amount of violence is okay, especially against someone physically weaker than you.
He hasn't been mean at all to our daughter.
Not yet, but that didn't keep you from being frightened enough to sit next to me yesterday.
Josh said he'd be really upset if I told anyone what happened. He was watching so closely. It just felt nicer to sit next to you.
You don't have to explain yourself. I could tell what pain you were in, so I wasted no time emailing you.
Yeah. Thanks for offering me this meeting. I just hope he doesn't find out.
The police need to know about this. You need a restraining order.
I'm scared of what Josh will do if I report him, Pastor Linus. I knew a girl who reported her boyfriend after he punched her. He just posted bail and began threatening her even though she had a restraining order.
Get Josh arrested first. Before he's arraigned, I'll talk to the police and ask for him to be held without bail.
Is that even possible?
I can't promise anything, but the department knows what pastor has had his congregation prepare fresh meals for them every Thanksgiving and Christmas. I have a lot of influence there.
Why are you so nice?
That's just the Lord working through me.
I could use some of the Lord's strength right now.
It's there at all times to give all of us what we need. You don't have to keep a man like Josh in your life.
I guess it was just easy to want a strong man to protect me.
Hey, he's not strong. Being violent means you're a narcissist, and that's weak, period.
I'm so stupid for falling for him.
Hey, don't say that. Look, it's human nature to be drawn to someone who seems stronger when you're not in touch with the inner strength the Lord gave you.
Have you ever been in an abusive relationship? I'm sorry if it's too personal.
No, not at all. I don't normally share it with people, but yeah, you deserve to know.
I bet Blackout, Scene 4, 1984.
We can skip over that.
Sure, and then we'll go. So then interlude, little Linus stands alone under a spotlight.
Page 23.
Okay.
Yep.
Miss Williams, I feel cozy, nice and warm with love. I like it when she rubs me, like softness from above. I go there quite a lot. It's much better than my home. I spent so much time there. She has my clothes and comb.
Scene 5, 2016.
Oh, God. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. You should know that we've all done self-destructive things.
Did you go back to her?
Day after day for many years. When you feel weak, it's hard to resist someone who makes you feel protected. Even an abuser.
I never would have guessed. I chose this church because I heard the pastor was crazy charismatic.
Thanks. Mother God fills me up with radiant energy, I suppose.
Mother?
Since I shared my pain with you, I should share how I magically healed.
Blackout, Scene 6, 1995. Linus lies miserably on a hospital bed, occasionally looking at the very heavy gauze on his wrists. Lynn softly opens the door without knocking and steps inside.
Do you mind if I sit here?
Please.
How are you?
Well,
You've been better, huh?
I'm not even sure that I have.
Do you want to talk to me?
Who are you?
I'm Lynn, the chaplain of this hospital.
The religious person?
Yes, I'm here to pray for those in need.
You think prayer will help me?
Well, generally, I pay visits to people only if they request me. I found out about you, though, and I've never been able to stay away from a child in pain.
I'm 23. So,
I have daughters your age. As far as I'm concerned, you're a child.
okay. So are you going to pray for me now?
First, I just want to talk with you. What's going on?
In general?
You know what I meant. Do you want to tell me about that?
I got sick of being me.
You've been you for 23 years. What made you sick of it now?
Never really liked it.
I'm not going to force you to tell me anything, but I can help you a lot more if you tell me what made you want to kill yourself.
He appears to want to cry. She holds his hand.
I'm right here, honey.
It was a girl.
It's okay. You're not the first person I've spoken with who's attempted suicide due to heartache.
Really?
Yes. And I was in an abusive marriage myself. So I know what it's like to fall in love with someone and get hurt. Want to talk about something else? I set aside a large block of time only for you.
Really?
You bet.
I've been reading a book of Edgar Allan Poe stories lately.
That's great. Which one has been your favorite?
The Cask of Amontillado. Thought about it a lot.
Why is that?
The isolation, I guess. The main character and the other guy are alone, far away from where anyone can ever see or hear them. And after, have you read it?
Yes. I was actually an English major before I turned to theology.
Montresor leaves and Fortunato remains there forever. And even after he's dead, the body stays there for all time, and no one ever finds out. It gave me nightmares.
Do you feel isolated a lot?
But do we have to talk about me?
We'll talk about whatever you want. I mean it.
Thanks. I'm used to it. Isolation. No real friends or family I want to be around.
Ever had a friend?
I've talked to coworkers some, but never gotten too close.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, Lynn. Most people just don't hit it off with me.
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Did you try joining campus groups or talking to people in your dorm?
I lived in some cheap room off campus. I was busy trying to work through school and get decent grades.
Parents wouldn't support you?
I'm sorry. This is too much.
I'm sorry if I was overzealous trying to help. Hey, I'll give you your space, but just tell the staff if you ever want to see me again.
Wait, I didn't say leave.
So you want me to stay?
Well, can you come back later today or tomorrow?
Whenever you want me back, just tell the nurses. I'll come back at my next available opportunity, promise.
Okay, thanks.
Lights out on Lynn leaving the room and up on her entering again.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming.
I've been thinking about you a little.
Thanks. I'm ready to talk about what you wanted.
Your parents?
Yeah, I just had a mom. She can barely support herself between getting fired and taking meds so much. She definitely didn't put me through college.
Does she know you're here?
No, she'd yell at me for making her look like a bad mother.
Do you feel like you had to raise yourself? If I'm asking too many questions, just...
I wish you were my mother.
That would be nice.
I wish she loved me.
I wish she did too. You seem very sweet. I can see why it's so hard for you to open up your heart.
Can I have some more time?
Time for what?
To talk about something fun? I really don't want to open up anymore right now.
Whatever you want.
There's a new movie being made where everything is computer animated.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
You like animated movies?
Oh, for sure. They allow you to go places that live action movies can't, escaping into a different world, really.
And that appeals to you?
Yeah, I like something that captures my imagination. I'm a big kid at heart, kind of.
Must feel sad being a kid and not being nurtured at all.
That's okay. A neighbor woman was like a mom to me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, from when I was 12, she let me come over as much as I wanted for affection and attention.
Linus, did she,
No,
are you sure? Do you still talk to her?
not really. She didn't like my going as far away as I did for college. She offered to help pay if I'd stay near her, but I had to go somewhere where there were no reminders of my mom or the kids I grew up with.
That's very strong of you. I'm proud.
Thanks, Lynn. Can we call it a day, and next time I'll tell you why I'm here?
Sure. You think you'll be ready by then? No rush. Just let me know when you want to meet again for any reason.
I love you.
Have a beautiful day. Talk soon.
Lights out on Lynn exiting and up on her re-entering.
Thanks for having me back, Linus. I've been getting concerned.
I didn't know if you were just being polite before. I thought maybe I went too far telling you that I loved you.
I'm so glad you opened up about that. It must have been hard making yourself vulnerable after the way you've been hurt. I just felt that it was too soon to say that, given your history of attachment issues.
Okay, Lynn.
Do you understand now?
I think so. I want to talk about why I'm in here now.
Wonderful. You have my undivided attention.
I fell in love with a dominatrix.
You fell in love with the person you paid to spank you?
Well, that's not all. She does lots of things, and she's just the sweetest, cutest girl.
How old is she?
23, a few months older than me.
What exactly happened?
Well, we had a regular thing where I'd pretend I was a little boy and had become an orphan. And Lily was like my aunt, who became my guardian.
And what did this aunt do to you?
All sorts of things. Read me stories, feed me, pretend to bathe me, pretend to take me on fun adventures, cuddle in a bed with me, and spank me and scold me sometimes. All the mother-child experiences.
What did you get out of this? I'm really curious.
I liked tapping into my inner child and let Lily take care of me.
Trying to fill the void your actual mother never filled in your life.
Yeah, probably.
Did anything sexual happen?
Well, she touched my private parts when she was pretending to bathe me or when she spanked me, but we definitely never had sex or anything.
Did you ever kiss?
We kissed each other on the cheek a lot. She told me that's as much as was allowed.
Yeah. You still seem to have thought of her as your significant other.
I thought what we had was special. I've been going to her for 4 years, and we really got to have long conversations and get to know each other.
During the session or outside of it?
Well, both really. Before and after the session, we'd talk about what was going on in each other's lives. And during the session, so as time went on, the sessions evolved. So I hope this makes sense. In character, I was growing up and the amount of time that we were spending together kept increasing. So it was like the aunt and the nephew were lovers. I'm probably losing you, but even in real life, when you have a single parent and an only child, it's like they're in a relationship if they're the opposite sex and they have a close bond, right?
Well, that is often a very close bond. So you're saying it's like your characters kept getting closer as the nephew grew up, and eventually the line was blurred between parent and partner for the aunt?
Yeah, wow, you just said that so much more articulately than I did. Yeah.
I think I understand now. But that's still within the business. Did you two ever meet up outside of it?
And she would always say we couldn't do that.
Even with her treating the relationship as purely professional, you grew attached to her like she was your girlfriend.
Our bond was special and unique. Or at least I thought.
So what happened?
Linus, with an agonized look on his face, buries his head in his pillow and pulls a sheet over himself.
Linus, take a deep breath and then answer my question. I'm here for you.
Well, I had a session scheduled with her. I was in the waiting room, and an old man came into the reception area with her, with his arm around her waist, and hers around his. This nasty old man. He sounded like some animal growling. This nasty looking old man with an old man smell did. And then he gave Lily the biggest kiss on the mouth and dipped her, and she kissed back. And then she smiled, arm around him again, and he said, "My girlfriend," in his animal voice of his, and he slapped her on the butt really hard a couple of times. And then she gave him a hug, and
Linus is unable to talk until Lynn begins squeezing his shoulder.
And she rubbed his arm and said, "See you tonight," with a fucking smile. And then she walked into the waiting area and said, "Hey, Linus," and held her arms out for a damn hug like nothing had happened.
What did you do then?
I wanted to throw up, but nothing came out. I drove home, and it was like my arms and my legs had a mind of their own. And I couldn't stop myself from making a beeline for the kitchen and picking up my knife. God.
Linus weeps as Lynn holds his hand tightly. As the tears subside, she gives his hand a little squeeze.
You're still alive, and now you're in a safe place. How did you end up here?
I didn't know how much cutting my wrist would hurt. Okay, maybe I did. But no, I didn't know it would be that painful. It's like the funny bone pain, but 10 times worse. Plus you get so fucking cold. It's like, I screamed after I cut the first wrist, and I used whatever strength I could to cut the second one, and I screamed again, and then I was on the ground in pain, and I guess my neighbor heard me, so he ran over to my door and yelled, "Linus, what's wrong?" I couldn't talk, I could only scream, so Ian must have called 911.
The doctor said that most people who cut their wrists make simple slits, but you really carved into yours like they were Thanksgiving turkeys. I understand how much pain you were in. But do you see now how much compassion is out there?
Yes, I just wish a woman cared about me.
Linus, you shouldn't have to pay a woman to care about you. You had to have known Lily had a life outside of work, right?
I suppose. It was just that she would never kiss me, and she made out with that wrinkly fuckhead, though.
I know it hurts, but you were her client. You can't compare yourself to an actual love interest, no matter how unworthy of her you find him.
I just wanted to believe that I was really special to Lily.
Lily probably isn't even her real name, you know?
Well, why do you think that?
Show me any chaplain, and I'll show you someone who has counseled many sex workers dealing with their own demons. She probably uses Lily as a business and tells her real name to her actual friends and family.
I'm such a fucking idiot.
Why would you say that about yourself? Why would you say lies about that? The Bible tells us clearly not to lie. I'm guessing your earthly mother said things like that to you But they were lies then too. Don't believe them. What unsettled me the most about this is that you would have whatever her name is be both your mother figure and your lover.
Well, what does that say about me?
I'm not a psychologist, but it seems like even while addressing your own hormonal needs, you're still trying to fill the void from when you were growing up.
Well, what do I do?
Have you ever thought God could be that mother for you to build the deep bond with?
Dude, God's a man.
God is not a man. God transcends gender and can be worshipped in whatever form we need. There are all sorts of feminine images of God in the Bible.
Seriously?
Absolutely. God is likened to a mother bear, a mother hen, a mother eagle, even a human mother in labor. My favorite verse in the Bible might actually be Isaiah 49:15. Can a mother forget her nursing child? Can she feel no love for the child she has born? But even if that were possible, I would not forget you.
Sorry, I keep crying.
Don't apologize. Something tells me you've never been allowed to cry before.
My mom, my Earth mother, I guess, always hated when I acted wimpy.
Crying is not wimpy. I think having the courage to express your emotions is very manly. My ex-husband did the things he did to our children and me because he could never show his vulnerability in a healthy way. It's called toxic masculinity.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn.
Don't be. I'm grateful for every hurtful experience I have ever undergone. Each one ultimately brought me closer to God.
And she nursed you and comforted you?
See, you're getting it, little one. And she'll do the same for you. Any for your thoughts?
I know you just met me, but could you say something nice about me?
You still don't believe you're special in God's eyes, do you?
Do you see anything special?
Even though I just met you, I'm already overwhelmed by your heart.
Really?
Yes. I see sensitivity and gentleness and compassion and love. You're quite the special boy, and I can't wait to find out even more about what makes you unique.
Wow. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm ready to go home and start my new life. I'm actually excited to see what Mother God has in store for me.
I'm so glad to hear that, but you can't leave just now.
Why not?
Linus, look at your wrists. Doctors see with their own eyes what depression you've struggled with, and they're not going to let you go just because you're feeling upbeat.
Well, when do I get to leave?
As soon as they're convinced you're not at risk to hurt yourself again. Hopefully it won't be too long.
I hate it here. I have to eat with my hands because they won't even let me have sharp utensils.
Tell you what, I know you don't like being in here, but as long as you are, I'll spend time with you every day.
Really?
Yes, even days I'm not working. I'll come here during visiting hours.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Do you like board games? Days I am working and I'm allowed in your room, I could bring some to play, just the two of us.
Well, yeah, I can't wait, yeah.
Are you going to be okay until tomorrow?
Yeah, I feel fabulous.
Okay. See you then at the same time. Blessings.
Stage goes dark. When it lights up again, Lynn enters the room with a bag.
What is that?
I know you haven't liked the food here so much, so I brought you homemade buffalo chicken, macaroni, and cheese. I even cut up the chicken into small pieces so you can eat it without sharp utensils.
Hands him the food and a plastic spoon.
I've been so hungry.
He begins stuffing his face as the stage goes dark. Once it lights up again, Linus, still in a hospital gown, is sitting on his bed with Lynn playing a board game.
I can't believe it's been almost a month in here.
She pats his face.
Well, rumor has it someone's going to be released soon.
He excitedly hugs her as the stage goes dark. Once it lights up again, Linus, fully dressed, is packing a suitcase while chatting with Lynn.
This is the best feeling.
Do you get some time to relax at home before going back to work?
My boss actually fired me when he found out I'm in here.
How could someone do that and sleep at night?
He's a bastard, but screw it. I only ever studied accounting so I can make more money than my mom ever did and live better than she ever allowed us.
First thing you need to know is that it's important for Christians to respond to evil with love. That's one of Jesus's absolute most important preachings.
Huh. So I shouldn't have used that word that I did.
But it's okay, Pumpkin. We're all learning each day how to be better.
Well, I hope I can still learn a lot from you.
That brings me to the second thing I wanted to say. This was really a divine miracle because just as you need a job, the Heavenly Mother made it so we need a new worship assistant at the church I run. How would you like to work for me?
They exchange a very long embrace.
I love you.
I love you too.
Blackout. Interlude. Young adult Linus stands alone under a spotlight.
Love, love, love. Word to describe Golden Lynn. Source of it? No. Flows down from heaven. Mother God, bringer of all things good and pure, beautiful and serene, peaceful. Gift for tormented soul, formerly tormented, false idols gone, pain gone, nurturing here, arriving from Mother God, existing in one form, love.
Scene 7, 2016, Linus's office.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy Lynn became the mom you need.
I do call her mom.
You still talk to her a lot?
Absolutely. Later, when I decided I wanted to go to seminary, she called in some favors to get me a full scholarship, and she even let me live with her while I got the degree.
Do you ever talk to your bio mom anymore?
She's dead. The alcohol finally killed her a few years ago because she hadn't spoken to me in years. I never even got to find out if she was bipolar like I thought.
I've heard the word reparenting.
I'm impressed. Yes, that's exactly what Lynn did for me. But this isn't about her. This is about our Divine Mother.
That part was amazing. Actually makes me feel a bit safer as a woman.
Right? You know, early versions of the Bible actually talked about the Holy Spirit as a female named Sophia. But the men at the time didn't want divine power projected onto a woman. Instead, they encouraged the toxic masculinity in, men like Josh.
Wow. This has been a lot to take in a day.
I know. But anytime you want to talk more, I'm right here. Here, let me give you my personal cell number.
God, thank you.
Now, you're going to head to the police station and press charges. Then, once Josh is behind bars, you and Victoria can start a new life. You're not going to worry about whether you'll be a good mother because you have Mother God to guide you on how to mold Victoria into as beautiful a soul as you are.
May I hug you?
Now listen, kiddo. if you need a place to stay while you're going through this transition, there are some nice older ladies in the church with room in their homes.
It's okay. I should be able to stay with my parents once I tell them what's wrong. Thanks to you, I know how lucky I am to have parents who won't blame me for getting beaten.
You know what? My life verse is 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Paul's talking about a thorn in his hand he asked the Lord to be rid of, and now I feel the same way, well, about these.
Oh my God, you were really in pain.
Yes, I was a young lamb in pain, just like you. I hope eventually you feel the same way about your burn that I feel about these cuts.
If you met Lynn because of them, it sounds worth it.
You know, helping people like you is really what makes it worth it, little one.
You are such a liar.
Why would I lie about that? The Bible clearly tells us not to lie.
I do feel better hearing about your dominatrix. At least I didn't pay Josh to hit me.
See? You're funny and clever and strong, not just sweet. You need to realize, just how special God made you, and not let the power she gave you be taken by men like Josh.
Guess I need to head to the police station now.
Call me if you need anything while you're at the police station, and call me afterwards no matter what.
Of course.
She wraps her arms around him for a long hug.
Talk to you soon, Pastor Linus.
Blessings, Pumpkin.
Ava exits as Linus beams with pride. Let It Be plays through the transition. Blackout. Interlude. Lights up on older Linus sitting at his computer while talking on the phone.
It's wonderful. Let me know when you reach your parents' place safely, okay?
I'll tell them to have you over for dinner.
Aw, you don't have to do that. But tell your mom and dad I said hi.
Of course, Pastor Linus.
Blessings, Ava.
After hanging up the phone, he puts on reading glasses and says the following out loud.
Precious angel, pretty and sweet. She can brighten any right person's day. A child like her would make my life complete. I got filled with rage knowing she was beat. She deserves better, more than I can say. A precious angel, pretty and sweet. With my love, I needn't be discreet. I would nurture her in whichever way a child like her would make my life complete. Time with her is for anyone a treat. The kind of happiness for which you can't pay. A precious angel, pretty and sweet. I would make her tasty cakes and the best meat. For a chance to raise such a girl, I do pray. A child like her would make my life complete. My love for her is as strong as concrete. Mother God has proudly made me that way. For a precious angel, pretty and sweet. A child like her would make my life complete.
He turns the computer off.
This is one of my best ones.
The doorbell rings. He looks at his watch, surprised.
Who is it?
The door opens. A haggard, overweight, middle-aged lady enters.
Lily?
Blackout. Intermission. Act 2. Scene 1, 1991. Young adult Linus nervously enters a room as young adult Lily waits with a big smile on her face.
Hi, I'm Lily.
Linus.
You sure you're old enough to be here, Linus?
19.
Me too. When's your birthday?
January.
Oh, it just passed. You're the first client I've met younger than me.
Is that bad?
No, sweetie. It's just unusual for a 19-year-old to have enough money to spend at an S&M club.
I've been saving up for a while.
Yeah? What do you do?
Serve burgers on my campus part-time.
Wow, you have been saving up for a while.
I use birthday money too.
Aw. Well, how'd you hear about Fanisols?
Oh, Linus breathes awkwardly and Lily gently touches him.
You're nervous, aren't you? There's no need to be. I'm not going to hurt you. I mean, actually, that's kind of my job, but I still won't if you don't like it. How'd you hear about us?
I read about Fanisols in the back of the paper. It said, "Want to make your wet dreams come true?"
That is what we're here for.
The receptionist said I'd really like you.
Yeah, Natalie knows how to pair clients up with the right mistress.
You don't look like a mistress.
I get that a lot. People think I'm still in high school. But now I get to have a client younger than me. I'm excited.
Me too.
So what are we doing today?
What do you offer?
I'm a switch. So the big options are me being the dominant or the submissive. The next question is whether you want to do role play and what kind.
I thought maybe you'd feed this to me.
He hands her a container of yogurt and a spoon.
You want me to feed you like a baby?
Is that going too far?
No, it's fine if that's what you want. Are you supposed to be my son?
Your nephew.
Got it. So I'm your Auntie Lily.
I'm like your kid because you're raising me by yourself. I'm an orphan.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I thought it would feel nice.
Well, I'm here for you. What else? You want me to just feed you yogurt the entire half hour? I don't think you brought enough. Do you want me to like spank you or anything? I can dress you up like a girl, make you worship my feet.
I don't know.
Okay, love. It's all right. You don't have to be so nervous.
All right.
Now calm down for me. Take a deep breath. Again. Smile for me. Now we're in this together. How about we decide as the session goes along what to do?
Yeah, I like that.
Start off with the thing you already wanted. Yogurt, young man.
He hands her the container and the spoon.
Oh, it's strawberry. My favorite.
I'm sorry, I should have brought two.
Oh, no, I ate lunch before I came to work. Anyway, a parent shouldn't eat until she's fed her baby.
I love you.
You too. Hang on just 1 second. Natalie, we're starting.
It's on the bed.
Linus, honey. Time for your snack.
Coming in, Aunt Lily.
Open your mouth.
She keeps feeding him.
Again, my dear. You're such a good boy. Am I doing this right? Like the way you wanted? Okay. Honey. You're such a good boy.
Thank you, Aunt Lily.
You're welcome, my baby. Your living with me is such an answer to prayer.
May I have another kiss?
Of course.
Gives him a big kiss on the cheek.
Now, how about one for your auntie?
He tries to kiss her on the mouth, but she turns her face and only lets him kiss her on the cheek.
Thanks, love. Open wide like a good boy.
She continues to feed him and calls him terms of endearment as the stage goes dark. When it gets light again, they're under the covers on the bed together.
I love sleeping with you, Aunt Lily.
Well, you need to start sleeping on your own soon. You're becoming a big boy.
Really?
Ugh, who am I kidding? I love having you in here too.
She kisses him all over his cheeks and forehead as the stage goes dark. When it gets light again, they are chatting casually.
What do you do when you're not here?
Your kids in reading.
Seriously?
Yep. This is my secret life. You're my little treasure no one outside of Fanisols knows about.
I'm big on reading and the arts too.
I know. You're so special.
She taps his nose with her finger as he blushes and giggles.
Shall we start, honey?
Sure.
She picks up the phone as the stage goes dark. When it gets light again, they're sitting next to each other and Lily's folding up a belt.
You know I love you, and this hurts me more than it does you. But you need to listen when I tell you to finish your chores. If I have to give you a good spanking, then that's what I'm going to do now.
Yes, Aunt Lily. I'm sorry I haven't been better.
Linus stands up and reaches for the button on his pants as the stage goes dark. We then see neon lighting on the stage as Linus and Lily play fight and tickle each other while Franz Gall's Poupe de ce Re Poupe de song plays. When the song ends, the stage goes completely dark. When it gets light again, she's caressing his face as a buzzer sounds.
Our session's over, but wait here, sweetie.
She walks off stage and comes back with a cake, complete with candles.
Happy birthday from our kinky crew. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too.
And amazed Linus blows out the candles as Lily sits with him.
Did Natalie tell you it's my birthday?
Mm-hmm. I'm so honored that one of my clients would spend his day with me.
Your favorite client.
All my clients have to be my favorite, but you're my favorite. Sound good? You want some cake?
You bought that for me?
Even better, I baked it from scratch.
Really, Lily? For me?
I mean, you always get me thoughtful presents for my birthday. It was your turn for a little pampering. And this I've never done for anyone else. Do you want a piece now?
I really want to kiss you. May I kiss you on the mouth?
We still have rolls, honey.
Okay, I just thought since it's my birthday.
Well, tell you what, close your eyes and I'll give you a big surprise.
Linus closes his eyes and opens his mouth, but Lily shoves frosting on his nose and eyes.
Happy 23rd birthday, Linus. I love you.
He throws his arms around her and they tenderly embrace. Blackout. Interlude. Young adult Linus stands alone under a spotlight.
My lovely Lily brightens my whole day. Just so joyful and so pretty. Sometimes I feel down. I want to fall and cry. But she knows how to make me smile and be an endless ray of sun. Makes me feel like the most special guy. Does that girl with her heart worth her weight in gold and jewels and in all my love? For she gives me strength to be.
Blackout. Scene 2, 2016. Older Linus and older Lily in his office.
Yes, it's me. I wondered if you'd recognize me.
How did you find me?
A friend told me how she discovered a church with the best pastor ever and lectured me about how a lost sinner like me could find the path to God and some bullshit. I tried to humor her until she mentioned the pastor's name is Linus. I had to find out if it was the same fucktard I knew.
So, what's up?
Did you seriously just ask me that? Are you tone deaf on top of everything else?
So, okay, look, yelling isn't gonna help. Can you please sit down and we'll talk about everything?
You are the last person I will let tell me what to.
Blackout. Scene 3, 1995. Linus in the waiting room of the S&M Club, watching a horror off stage as we hear an old man snarling, "My girlfriend," followed by slapping and kissing sounds and Lily saying, "See you tonight." She then enters the waiting room offering a hug.
Hey, Linus. What's wrong, love? Are you okay, babes? You're starting to scare me.
Nervous.
How come?
I want to do a session where I'm the dominant.
Sure. I mean, part of the reason I've stayed a switch is to give clients whatever option they want. I'm proud of you for growing into your own strength.
Can we head to the room?
You bet.
She takes his hand as they walk off stage. Blackout. Scene 4, immediately following. They enter the same playroom as before, and Linus sits on the bed.
Natalie, we're starting. So this time, am I the niece and you're the...
No need for role play. Just get undressed.
Down, boy.
Lily strips down to a G-string, but then sees Linus walking towards her menacingly.
Linus?
The stage then goes completely dark as very somber, elegiac music plays. Lights back up as the buzzer ends the session. Lily meekly starts to get dressed as Linus realizes she still has shortness of breath.
Was that really awful?
Okay.
Here's a tip if I cross the line.
I'm going back downstairs. If you want to ask Natalie for another bottle of water or well, bye.
Lily frantically leaves as Linus feels full of rage at himself for his actions. Blackout. Scene 5. Linus and Lily together in his office in 2016. She's perusing the accolades on his wall.
Outstanding. California, Nevada, Conference United Methodist Church pastor. Wow.
Yeah, I won the award for my geographic region 3 years in a row and 6 times overall.
What's this big one?
That's the award for best pastor in the entire Western jurisdiction. I got that when I was 34, so I was the youngest winner ever. You see all the good I was inspired to do, Lily, after...
Shut up. This is my time to talk.
Go ahead, let it all out.
How did you live with yourself after what you did?
I almost didn't. I wouldn't have if my neighbor hadn't called 911.
Let me guess. While you were in the hospital, you found Jesus, and he saved you.
I'd like to say Mother God saved me, but yeah, same principle.
Mother God. How ironic, coming from a predator.
Please don't define me by that incident. I've never done anything like that before since, and I just told you I tried to kill myself out of guilt.
Why did you do it?
I thought we were in love. I know it's stupid, but I just didn't know what love was yet, and I guess I got upset seeing you with that old man you were kissing, and I wanted to feel powerful for the first time in my life. There was 23 years of pain coming out of me at once.
You want to feel like an asshole?
You're doing a great job of making me feel that.
No, that was my sugar daddy. I moved in with him when I was 16 to get away from my dad, who started raping and molesting me when I was 5, and my mom, who thrashed my ass every time I tried standing up to him. Say what you will about Mr. Score, but at least he provided well for me, and he never forced himself on me. He was really controlling, though. He didn't like my working outside the house. He used to come by to assert his ownership of me. I didn't want him to, for reasons like this.
We're not so different, Lily. I never knew who my dad was. My mom was a monster in the way she beat me. I mean, even the physical beatings weren't as bad as her verbal abuse or how often she didn't feed me. I was so desperate for maternal affection that I spent my entire adolescence going to an old neighbor lady's house for my daily dose of molestation. At least I had the strength to move away, but I still resorted to spending all my money on a sex worker so I could feel like I had a bond with someone. And when I saw that sex worker had a real, what at least I thought was a real lover, I'm sorry, I snapped. But you're 100% right. I mean, I was the perpetrator in the assault and you were the victim. But don't think for a moment that I haven't thought about that every day or that I wouldn't trade places in a heartbeat if I could.
Do you really mean that? You've spent all these years winning those awards and getting put on a pedestal by churchgoers while I've been in halfway houses and jails.
Jails?
You don't get over the life I've had without some help from some illegal drugs.
Oh, yes, you do. With help from the Lord. I mean, that's what separates you and me after we had such similar childhoods. I've also witnessed these kinds of transformations in others firsthand. Simply open up your heart to the Divine Mother.
You know what? I didn't come here for preaching. I've gotten that from enough smug pricks.
Lily, you have every right to all your anger. But don't you think that I was angry at my mom, at my molester, at the whole world? The chaplain who visited me in the hospital, she taught me how much love God has to give us and how magical life truly is when you feel that. We have one life to live. Please don't waste any more of it being angry. I know the first 45 years haven't gone as you would have liked, but our Heavenly Mother can fill you with bliss for the next 45 and for all eternity. I've personally witnessed addicts and former inmates who became such happy, productive members of
Are you
society.
a comic book fan?
What?
You heard me.
I like scary stuff like Lock and Key. Why are you asking?
There's a parable in The Killing Joke. 2 inmates in a lunatic asylum want to escape. One inmate jumps across a gap between the asylum and the next building, but the other is afraid he'll fall. The first inmate offers to shine his flashlight across the gap so the other can walk across the beam, but the second inmate says, "What do you think I am, crazy? You'd turn it off when I was halfway across."
Okay. I completely understand if you don't trust me. I didn't mean myself personally witnessing to you, though. I can refer you, or you can find on your own. There's all sorts of wonderful pastors. The UMC is actually quite welcoming of female reverends.
What's
So
your end game, Linus?
to help someone in pain, that's always my end game. It's what I've devoted my life to.
Why did you really devote your life to this field?
Have I not made myself clear? Mother God's love touched me so deeply and magically that I want to make sure other people who need to feel her can feel her transformative power too. I hope you understand that and don't think I'm just being some smug prick.
You sure it didn't have anything to do with your wanting forgiveness for what you did and thinking all this makes up for it?
Of course it does, but we can't think like that. Only God is good, not any of us. We simply do the best we can instead of thinking we're people who somehow earn salvation. The more we beat ourselves up for the past, the less time we have to spread her love to other souls in the present and the future.
Where does all that leave me?
That's up to you, but does it mean anything at all that I felt like such garbage I literally tried to kill myself?
Let me guess. You compare those wounds to the holes in Jesus's hands. All these years as a drug addict, I've heard from all sorts of missionaries and chaplains and other clowns who want to save me. They talked about how Jesus would heal me because he died for my sins. As if being sexually and physically abused is a sin. What I could never get past was how someone, no matter how big an asshole, could just accept Jesus on his deathbed and then spend all of eternity in bliss with the Lord.
It has to be sincere contrition. You can't just say you accept Jesus because you want to go to heaven.
But if it's sincere, you go to heaven, no matter whom you've harmed, no matter how badly.
Yes, and I think that's beautiful. Even if it is on their deathbed, maybe their genuine remorse will ease the pain of the person they wronged or motivate others by showing them that everyone has some capacity for change.
Sure, when they're going to die in a few minutes.
Look, enough of the straw man argument, Lily. Nobody should feel like they're beyond help, no matter what they've done or where they are in life. What kind of message are we sending if we tell a person that doesn't matter what they do anymore since they've already proven themselves evil? You don't have to know what goodness is deep inside them or what's been done to them to make them the way they are or what amazing things they can do with the right guidance.
Am I just supposed to forgive people who have harmed me horrifically if they've had rough childhoods.
Don't twist my words around, Lily. You don't have to forgive anyone, but God forgives us all. None of us are perfect. Only she is.
I'd say some of us are worse than others, Linus.
Sure. Yes, I agree, but it's not your place or mine to say who's better than whom. It's God's place.
You know, as fucked up a life as I've led, I've never gotten to marry or have children. You know how much I would have loved to be a parent?
So what have I? And I've never gotten to do those things either. You're wrong if you think my feeling unworthy after what I did to you had nothing to do with it.
You would have had your chance with me.
Excuse me?
I'd been saving up money working at Fantasols for 5 years and letting Mr. Score take care of my bills. I was almost ready to go off on my own. And when I left the club, I would have given you my personal contact info.
Are you saying you actually liked me?
Maybe it was because we both loved to read, or you were just such a darling the way you acted with me. Maybe just that I could see the pain in you and I thought you would really get me. But all that changed when you assaulted me. Who the fuck could I ever trust?
Lily, I had no idea. I mean, you never wanted to kiss me.
There were rules. I kept telling you. God damn it. I got in enough trouble baking you a cake when we were supposed to have boundaries. I thought if this was meant to be, you could wait until the right time. Then you showed your true colors.
No. What you see now is the real me. I just needed the right guidance after all I'd been through. But come on, you understand, right? It's like, how about we start over?
You're not seriously thinking we could still be together, do you? Really? Even if I still thought I could be a good mom, all the drugs, they've left me infertile.
When did the drug abuse start?
After what you did?
You're kidding.
Whatever anyone else had done to me, my dad, Mr. Score, my mom, I was resilient. I wanted to rise above it. When someone sweet that I'd grown to love hurt me like you did, that was too much. I gave up. I needed to numb the pain.
Oh. What can I do to make it up to you? I know there's probably nothing, but if there's anything at all, just please say so.
There is one thing you can do, young man. You can tell your whole church what you did to me.
What?
If you don't, I will.
But...
Blackout. Interlude. Child Linus and young adult Linus stand alone under separate spotlights.
I very meanly hurt someone, and now I feel so bad. She wants her payback by making me feel sad.
Guilt, remorse, grief. Lily, I'm sorry. I wish I could take it all back. Hurt you? I know I did. I'm sorry. But hurt me back? Does it help? Please say no. My love. All I wanted was you.
Blackout. Scene 6. 2016. Linus and Lily stare at each other.
Lily, why?
It's the one way I can have closure. If people are going to worship a man who ruined my life, I'd feel better if they at least did so knowingly and showed their true colors.
They don't worship me. I'm just a vehicle for them to worship God.
Those awards have your name on them.
What is your obsession with my hardware, Lily? If I never got them, I wouldn't feel any less happy about my career as a reverend. The whole purpose has been to help God touch souls, and that's all that matters. Lily, or whatever your real name is.
That is my real name.
Seriously?
I didn't want to hide myself from a client in case I ever developed a real bond with him. Yeah, it's stupid. I know.
Wow. Okay, look. You can see how much joy and healing I've brought to people's lives through God. Do you really want to stop that?
Who says it has to stop?
Well, you know full well I'll be asked to resign and then blackballed.
Sounds like Christian hypocrisy. All this talk about forgiveness of other sins, but churchgoers are quick to say it doesn't apply to them.
No, that's not true. Read about St. Maria Goretti. She was a 12-year-old girl killed after an attempted rape by a 20-year-old. Her attacker was unrepentant until a bishop visited him in jail, and then he had a dream where she forgave him, which Maria's mother confirmed Maria had done on her deathbed. After that, Alessandro became a model prisoner, and after his release, he begged her mother for forgiveness. The same mother whose calls for mercy saved him from the death penalty, and she gave it. He actually spent the later years of his life as a lay brother at a monastery, always talking about how wrong his youthful actions were and how much Maria's angelic forgiveness taught him.
That attacker of Maria's went to jail though, right?
27 years. It would have been the rest of his life, but he was considered a minor at the time, and they took that into account, the mental disorders, the alcoholism that had plagued his family when he was growing up.
You didn't go to jail at all. Who's going to believe a sex worker if I even reported you?
So you're telling me I'm getting a light punishment, losing my life's work? How will that affect my congregation?
Let them put their money where their mouth is and forgive you.
Fine. You win. What should I do?
Confess however you want. I expect to see a news story soon about it. But for now, I want an insurance policy.
She moves her chair to his side of the desk and takes out her phone.
I'm going to start recording a voice memo. In it, you will confess to everything you did. Don't get excuses about your childhood or talk about how the Lord made you so wonderful after. Just be blunt about how you were an asshole. If I don't hear about you confessing, then I release this audio recording to the public. My last name is Langley. Go.
I, Linus Stevenson, sexually assaulted Lily Langley when I was 23. She was the same age. I don't know what more you want me to say.
Well done. Delete. Delete.
What was that?
You're crying. I'm sorry. As badly as you hurt me, I can't hurt you back. I think you have suffered enough. Do you really think there's anything special about you Christians if an atheist drug addict whore can show this kind of grace, though?
Lily exits. Linus picks up a large birthday card on his desk and forlornly reads the inscriptions.
Happy 40th birthday, Pastor Linus, from your loving congregation. Happy birthday, bud. You need to come to one of our barbecues at my house sometime. Blessings, Linus. I couldn't have made it through my cancer treatment without you. Thanks for making every week so amazing, you awesome pastor. You would have been like an extra dad to the youth group. Many happy returns of the day.
Linus crumples up the card and throws it away from him. He then does the same to his large trophy, after which he slams his head onto his desk and bawls loudly. Blackout. Interlude. Child Linus and young adult Linus stand alone under separate spotlights.
I thought I was a good boy who would make my mom proud. Now I think I'm terrible. I see that clear and loud.
Shame. Word with such power. Darkness hangs over me. Forget the past. Forgive. No. Failure follows me. Then, now,
Blackout. Scene 7, 2016, Linus's office. Lynn brings a cup of water to her spiritual son, who is hiccuping and feeling dehydrated after all the crying he was doing. She wipes a tear from his face.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm hit the right. Okay, can you see me?
No, you just gotta press start video. Should be on the bottom left corner.
It said you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, because you didn't disable when we were supposed to earlier. Let me.
Okay. Start my video. Okay. Okay. All right, we're good?
Yep.
I just can't believe this has been on your mind for over 20 years and you never told me.
This might be stupid, but I didn't know if you'd love me as much if you knew.
Silly boy, you should know my love for you is unconditional. It comes from our Heavenly Mother.
Does this change how you feel about me at all?
What do you want, my darling? Are you trying to get me to yell at you? Would that make you feel better? I may quote the Bible all the time, but here's a quote from outside if you need to hear. Just because you did something wrong in the past doesn't mean you can't advocate against it now. It doesn't make you a hypocrite. You grew. Don't let people use your past to invalidate your current mindset.
I just hope my congregation feels the same way.
You're really going to tell them?
Lily had a point. They should know the whole truth.
I wouldn't put so much credence in what Lily says. You're talking about a person who harbored resentment against you.
She showed so much grace, though.
Real grace would be simply telling you sincerely that she forgives you, or privately forgiving you and praying for your salvation as you have with your abusers. Lily only decided to let you off the hook after seeing you were already experiencing a lot of pain, and then she tried undermining your faith. The worst thing she could have done. She's completely entitled to her anger, but don't act as if she's an authority on the subject of grace.
Thanks, Mom. Knowing the results of what I did, though, I don't know. What do I do about these feelings of unworthiness? Like, I hear atheists make the argument all the time that people shouldn't be able to just do what they want and gain salvation by accepting Christ.
Does that describe you at all? You became one of the most incredible pastors I've ever seen. Countless people's lives have been brightened by you. That still doesn't mean you've earned salvation, but neither have I, and neither has anyone else. will always be imperfect compared to God. But she brings us up to heaven thanks to her grace. It's the only grace that ultimately matters. Continue to help others discover that love, and you'll keep seeing that no pain here on earth matters in the long run.
Well, I didn't say I want to resign. I feel like I should, yeah, I don't know, just maybe be upfront and be on top of this instead of living a lie.
There is no lie. You were a lost, tormented soul whose life miraculously turned around due to divine intervention, just like you've always said. Please don't undo your beautiful progress.
That's making it all about me, though. And what if Lily changes her mind and tells her story?
Then I will put my reputation on the line and talk about how that suicidal young man I saw in the hospital was a completely different person, and your decades of work spreading God's love are a testament to her infinite powers. I agree. There will be some saying that a good person wouldn't have done what you did, but those will be people who think they have never done anything truly bad, who don't understand the pain you've been battling, and who don't realize that nobody is completely good or bad.
Thanks. That actually makes me feel so much better. But can you just do that if I tell the whole story myself?
If it really means that much to you not to withhold the information, I won't stop you from sharing. Some congregants might want to leave your church or stay away from it in the first place, and I can promise some bishops in the United Methodist Church will want you removed and barred from any future appointments. But I'll have your back, no matter what happens, though.
I suppose this is a situation with no easy answer.
Although he's still talking to Lynn, Linus turns to the audience.
Imagine you don't already know me well. Would you think a person who did what I did deserves a second chance?
Play ends with Amazing Grace hauntingly playing as Linus and Lynn stare at the audience of blackout and thank you all for coming to